Warning, F-bombs are armed and may be dropped. Don't worry about it, Squatch. I'm there too. So, don't you have a stream of your own to run? Okay. And pop out the chat so I can follow it. Oh, bloody hell, I forgot my glasses. Well, I'm over it. All right. Oh, for fuck's sake. I'm having some issues with my computer today. There. All right. I'm going to wait a couple minutes and just kind of rant a little bit in case somebody does actually arrive. A couple of interesting stories. Hydrogen is poised to come back, and I hope so. I really do. After stupidity, hydrogen is the most common substance in the known universe, so I'm just saying, hey, usually I do this with the, there we go, with the Bluetooth, but I can't find it today. Cheese, I would go with Squatch right now because he's going to be going longer. And to be perfectly blunt, he's a lot more fun. I am boring. And unless you got questions, not much point to being here right now. Okay. Yeah, hydrogen is hopefully going to make a comeback. Oil is going to go away someday. This is a done deal. Why haven't we made the switch like 10 years ago? There's a gentleman from Australia. I'm trying to get him to start a hydrogen farm. I think it would be extremely effective. The downside is hydrogen's explosive. I mean, so is oil, but it could raise safety issues. Geez, go mod. Mods are very important. Oh, I read something, or I have something else. Yeah, I'm going to see. Yes, that's right. That is the one I thought it was. I'm just going to put this one. I don't usually share the afternoon stream, but this time I'm going to go ahead and do it. Make sure it's a full screen this time. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Why the debate over crossbows in the UK should matter in the US. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to emphasize something. I saw the teaser and I opened it. I have not read this yet. You're going to learn about it as I do. On Monday, Americans learned of the deadliest mass shooting in the United States. Another one. In Denver, a 47-year-old gunman shot several people, killing 5 before ultimately dying during a gunfight with the police. He killed 4, you lying little whore. The tragedy did effectively nothing to change the public debate over gun violence and access to deadly weapons. No, and it shouldn't. 2 days earlier, and more than 4,000 miles to the east, a 19-year-old man was arrested on the grounds of Windsor Castle in the UK, where members of the royal family had gathered for Christmas. Now, I remember seeing the blurb for this and laughing because those limeys and their pretentious little self-importance. Look what it got them. Fortunately, no one was hurt, although police said the suspect, who received treatment for mental health issues, was carrying a crossbow. They had said firearm. before. So were you lying then or are you lying now? Mass media. But okay. Almost immediately, British officials renewed a discussion about new safeguards surrounding crossbows. New York Times reported, "We are considering options to strengthen control on crossbows." Wow, that is such a profound statement there, Rach. It's so good of you to make it, to bring this to our attention quite this way. Learn how to write, you stupid bitch. A spokesman for the British Home Office said in a statement Tuesday, as part of continuing review on rules of lethal weapons ordered this year by Priti Patel, the Home Secretary. Owning a firearm is already difficult in the UK. No, it's realistically impossible. You have to be a member of a club, and even the club is restricted on what they can have. The process includes a background check and a police interview, and police departments maintain licensing records of who owns guns. That would be illegal under mandatory carry. Only the ATF could have that record. But as the Times noted, British adults can buy crossbows over the counter or online without similar restrictions. Yeah, much like firearms, you can build a crossbow at home. You can build one of much better quality than you can buy online if you know what you're doing. Even if you don't, you can still build one at home. So I'm kind of lost here, Rach. What's your point? Or did you even have one? In the interest of public safety, those regulations will probably soon change. It's certainly possible that the new safeguards will spark a massive public backlash, complete with Tory Republicans posting come and take it messages to Twitter alongside pictures of crossbows. That seems unlikely. The more realistic expectation is that British consumers will simply adapt to new rules. No, they will start making them at home using the leaf springs off of old cars. And if you're not lucky, not only will they make them from the leaf springs off of old cars, but they will actually clean those leaf springs up so that they look good as well. Also, they'll probably case harden them so they're a little bit stronger. In the United States, meanwhile, we're left to wonder about our next mass shooting, confident in the knowledge that it will occur soon. Yeah, Rachel, exactly. That's what you want. That's what you're trying to force. So yeah, exactly. As with Denver, it will generate very little public debate about restrictions on firearms. Good. It shouldn't. But hey, what do I know? Thank you, Cheese. All right. Much like the debate on gun control, no, it'll do nothing to change the situation. I can build a crossbow at home with the leaf spring off a car, a really, really strong piece of wood. Let's just be honest. It'd have to be hickory, oak, something like a hardwood, and some steel wire. Steel wire. I did say steel wire. I meant steel wire. And something to make a hook. Yeah. And that's it. The bolts are actually the hard part. You've got to have them balanced. You've got to have them the right shape to fit the crossbow. All of that sort of crap. Does it even make sense to have the debate? The answer is no. No, it's you're wasting your time even debating the issue. But they're going to debate it anyways because, oh my God, the guy had a crossbow. Now, I could get into the fallacy of deny them guns, they went to crossbows. Yeah, that is a fallacy. Um, because they're going to switch to something else. And as the Manchester bombing and the uh, London Bridge attack shows, there's no limit to where they will go. That's the truth. Reminds me of something else, though. In the darkest hours just after Dunkirk, the British had lost something like 90% of their infantry weapons, or maybe it was just 50%. Still, that's a huge number. They'd lost at least 10% of their fighting men. They'd lost all of their field guns. They'd lost their tanks, their aircraft, uh, almost all of their other vehicles. I think something like 100 trucks made it off the beach in Dunkirk. That's it. Love you, Susan. Right. So they started making a new generation of firearms. But before they could do that, they had to arm everyone because they were really expecting Hitler to cross the English Channel. This was not something that they foresaw as a possibility. This was a going to happen thing, and it didn't happen because Hitler screwed up. All right, it is that simple. He could not muster enough naval vessels to France in time to make the invasion effective. He could have turned his Luftwaffe loose to just harass the English coast. No strategic value. No bombing cities, no bombing factories, no targeting farms. Just harass the coast, force the Royal Navy to spend and Air Force spend all of their time chasing the planes, and then the boats and ships could have come across with equipment, but they couldn't get the boats and ships there in time. And the mission ended up being scrubbed. Also, British were expecting paratroopers. British didn't realize that the Germans had abandoned paratrooper corps because of unsustainable losses. The year before, I think it was, in Crete. The Winston Churchill said, every man must be armed, even if only with a cudgel or it's a type of spear. I saw somebody answer, by the way. So what they did was they took bayonet blades, put the blade into a steel shaft is yay long, welded it into place, and handed that out to what they called Dad's Army. This led to a huge scandal. Oh, Croft's pikes. That's what they were called. They were pikes. Because the Minister of War, I believe was his title, commissioned these things to be made in a few $100,000. And the minority party leader said, if this is a joke, it was in very poor taste. Well, you can still do that. The only thing stopping you Brits from doing exactly that is your unwillingness to do it because you're lazy. Okay. With the moderators today, I have to do it myself. So I'm going to continue on while I wait for this to load up. There we go. Wow. Even the channel owner cannot ban somebody now. What the flying fucking hell is this bullshit, YouTube? All right. I will check that out in a few minutes. Anyway, moving right along. Where was I? Oh, Crofts Pikes. You Brits have your head so far up your ass that you can see the back of your own brains. If you think this crossbow ban is going to do anything, you're lying to yourselves. I swear, this is just tea. Black tea with a little flavoring in it. Love you, Susan. Moving right along. God. In case you haven't figured this out, I'm not a big fan of the rules. Either way, you need to pull your heads out of your ass because 9017 will affect the United States. I've got a day of the year, not a year, but a day of the year specifically in mind. But worse still is, however bad it may be here in the United States, think about this. Britain is, well, Rhode Island, the United States' smallest state. It's about half the size of the Isle of the Angles, the old Pict Isle. All right. That would be Scotland and Britain and Wales, but not Ireland. Okay. Now think about this for a second. It is that small. The attack on the US, generally speaking, will be about 200 fighters, trained fighters, that is. All right. So put those same 200 people in Britain, and what do you get? What you get is there's so fucking many of them that they actually run into each other, and maybe they annihilate each other because they thought the other guy was the cop. Probably no. They probably have some idea of who will be where and when, but it's still a possibility. There we go. Oh, can I? Ha. I just remembered something. I can moderate my chat from the pop out. So, Britain specifically, drop the pretense. It's not working. It never did work. It never will work. And this idea that you never had a mass shooting because you banned all your guns is an absolute lie. It is a lie. That is it. It's not a mistake. All right. And Cumbria, as was pointed out this morning, proves it. Oh. All right, where was I? Of course, this is a Q&A, but there's only one person watching. I'm pretty sure it's me. But I love questions, people. Bring me questions. All right? Especially the hard ones. Believe it or not, I actually like those hard questions more. The questions about how mandatory carry would work, then I do the easier questions. All right. But I love the questions, all of them. Um, as the old saying goes, a the truth does not mind being tested. A lie will not tolerate being challenged. By goddamn, challenge the fuck out of me. Here's a question that never gets asked. How do you, as a libertarian, well, I'm not, but let's move on past that, justify making anything mandatory? Well, I justify it because it's not just about you, it's about everybody else as well. Or, as Ben Shapiro put it, you can't pollute the river, and you can't allow yourself to become the pollution in the river. Well, how do you justify making somebody who's opposed to war in any fashion? Hold up. War and self defense are not the same thing. All right? They're two very, very different concepts. I know people who are anti war in any circumstances, period, end of discussion. That's it. Who will fight you at the drop of a hat? You know what? I'll even tell you. His name starts with Y, so we're going to call him Yo. Here's a new name, Steve M. Actually, no, I think I've seen you before. Do you say, let's go, Brandon? No, I say, fuck Joe Biden. But I will say, let's go, Brandon, as a quote, or to piss off somebody, or whatever. Come back to that in a minute, Steve. Anyway, there are people, this guy from Sacramento. He's an old sack rat. I was just talking about him earlier today, too. Not during the stream, but. Okay, so we're going to call him Brandon because Steve brought up the let's go Brandon thing. When he was younger, Brandon got martial arts training or something. He thought he wanted to become a professional fighter as a kid, and his parents helped him in that direction. When you're a kid, you do things you don't realize are kind of dumb. Gets into high school or so, and he's getting into a lot of fights, and he's like, no, I don't, this is not fun anymore. I'm not enjoying it. This game is over. Getting tired of being suspended. I'm tired of the cops coming down. I'm not going to fight anymore. He quit fighting. He quit martial arts and all of that. Okay, no problem. Well, as a young adult, over 21, and I know this because he's in Old Sack at the bar, people are still starting fights with him because they know he can actually fight. And shit, if I'd known that about him back then, I might have started a fight with him too. It would have been an honor to get my ass kicked by Brandon. Hell, I wouldn't have even pressed charges. I've been like, no, Sergeant. Oh, that hurts. No, Sergeant. I started this fight with him because I wanted to get my ass kicked by the best. Wait, you started the fight? Oh, yeah, I started this fight, man. Oh, well, he's pressing charges. That's okay. I'm all right with that. It's a misdemeanor. I'll write it. If I'd known that about him back then, yes. That's the kind of brain I've got. I didn't say that's a good thing. Moving on. And there are people that do that. They get drunk and they think, let's go fight Brandon. And then they get their asses kicked. And they don't understand why. It's because he's a semi-pro fighter, you dumb fuckers. Okay. Brandon is opposed to violence in any form unless you're trying to inflict violence upon him. He will defend himself. Don't think he won't. He ended up spending a weekend in Sacramento County Jail. And I know one of the people that witnessed it. This is the guy who tipped me off about Brandon's actual past. Brandon got into another fight. Somebody came up from behind, grabbed him. Brandon thought it was one of this guy's buddy because that had happened to him a couple times. He starts to spin around and Mike. I'm going to refer to my friend, well, our mutual friend is Mike. Mike says, and then you see the look on his face change when he realizes it was a cop and he's already in full rotation. And he really knocked that cop's clock. He knew he was in trouble. He knew how much trouble he was in, and he just took it at that point. Okay. Steve, I must be a reptilian because I am very pro-war. Yeah. Dirty little secrets are coming out, aren't they? All right. Shit. I can't remember the chapter and verse, but in The Prince, Machiavelli talks about it's better to fight a small war now than a larger war later because it only puts it off to your enemy's advantage. I keep this one in the plastic to protect it. I have another copy, but I think it was at the Colorado house, the one that burned to the ground. All right. About 20 minutes in. Where was I? Let's keep on moving anyway. Okay, so how do you justify forcing convicted felons and terrorists to have guns? Well, I don't. You will never know somebody is a terrorist or a criminal or mentally ill until they show you some sign of it, right? I have PTSD. Can you tell? No, because I have the control enough over my PTSD that it does not interfere with my life. What about somebody who's schizophrenic? Believe it or not, there are schizophrenics out there who do have enough control over their condition that they know which voices are real, which people are real, which ones are not. A cousin of mine happens to be one in particular. If he hears a voice and he can't find who's talking to him, he knows that voice is fake. It gets better. If he's talking to somebody and he doesn't know if they're real or fake, he'll take his glasses off for a second. He's got enough together to know if he can still see this guy clearly. This guy is fake. He's not real. My cousin who's standing right next to him, I can't see him clearly. My cousin is real. That is an actual incident that happened between me and my cousin, same bar where I see Brandon from time to time. I only actually met him once, but anyway. We were outside getting a cigarette with my cousin's fiance. I think they're married now. And he told me he took his glasses off, and I knew what this meant. I'd heard him say those words, take the glasses off. Oh, what's going on? Well, my friend Jack or John or something like that, standing right next to you, telling you you're an asshole. I looked at the open air and said, fuck you too. And he starts laughing. My cousin has enough control over his schizophrenia that I would actually reasonably trust his judgment. Would I trust his judgment in a very deeply emergency pressed situation? Like guy running around with bike lock, or a guy running around with a gun? Probably not. Love you, bro. I love you, cousin. But no. Okay. By the way, that same cousin is the one that said to me, I'm the reason you should have a gun. Whoa, what? Well, if I have a break, you're not going to control me. So the only thing you can do is shoot me. I think that's generally what he said. One of these days, I'd really love to get him in here and interview him, but he doesn't respond to messages on Facebook. Okay. I could try my aunt. She should be able to drag him out of hiding. But anyway, there it is. There are people that like that. There are people that also have at least enough control that if they get into a physical altercation, brass knuckles, just saying, they could probably explain their actions in court. And then there are some people, and I say this myself, with the grace of God, go without a gun. Everybody's always so shocked to realize I'm the only person I've ever met that can actually argue against mandatory carry. The rest of y'all, you don't know what you're talking about. And it shows each and every time. There was one individual who claimed to have read it. So I asked him this really simple question: what is the easiest exemption to get? He went for the worst possible answer. All right. It's like an obvious red herring. And he went right down that track. It was incredible. I don't even know how he fell for that, because he didn't actually read it. He skimmed it, looking for what he expected to find. Because he's just as lazy as those Brits who think they know so much. Okay. Now, I'm not ignoring guys. On a related note, sure. Partly because I really hate this bitch. Partly because what I'm about to say is true. I literally just found this. Ocasio-Cortez staffer calls Israel a racist European ethno-state that was built on stolen land. Whoa. Whoa. Oops. Wait. Let's get the right one. How many ways can you be wrong in one sentence? All right. Israel is not a racist ethno-state. It may not be the most egalitarian. Let's just be honest about that. But it's not a racist ethno-state. And worse, this stolen land claim. It's absolute fucking bullshit. It's a lie. Israel was invaded by the Romans, then invaded a second time by the Moors. And yet, despite all of this, the Israelis managed to hold out in the Israeli version of what we would today call Montana. Okay, it's one of the northern war territories. The Jews managed to hold out in that region until the British Empire fell apart because the Brits took Israel from the Moors later on. At that point, the Israelis were willing to settle for a deal that put the borders where they already naturally were. All right. The Moors refused, well, the Palestinians now, refused to accept that deal. So war it was. Now I'm going to skip ahead and find the exact words. Hussein Al-Tamimi said, Israel is a European ethno-state built on stolen land from its indigenous population. On Christmas Eve, of all things, that's fucking disgusting. You should be ashamed of yourself. You should really be ashamed of yourself. Alexandria, how do you sleep at night knowing your entire staff is actual racists? Oh, I guess I should. I guess I shouldn't ask such a stupid question. She's a raging racist herself. But moving right along. You're seeing all of this news as I do, guys. So if you see something, right? I'm not going to find anything there. So I'm just going to rant for a while. Standard disclaimer, Niner 17 is coming. All right. Denver was a mini Niner 17. Was Burlington a quasi Niner 17? Probably not. It's probably just one individual who went some weird direction in his own head. No agenda, no reason, nothing like that. Guys, I am very sorry about these interruptions. First of all, remove. Oops. Hey, Black, you should have been here this morning. And no, it did not get through. Well, it did not get through the last time I looked, which I didn't see it the last time I looked, which would have been this morning. Let me take a look right now and see if there's something in there that I did not notice. Your first one got through. I know, I replied to that. Yeah. It's not there. Well, let me look in. Okay, Black. One got through to me, and I know what you're referring to. Um, and I sent a reply with an attachment. I made a couple of comments related to the information that you gave me. Um, short version. This is not an emergency. I don't need that information. Um, and yeah, I never got a reply back, so I don't know. I have no idea. Okay, you did get that. Did you read it finally? You should really read that because what happened in Denver is a mini version of what I talk about in that paper. All right. Balkman really fucked me hard when he decided that he was just going to say, oh, this is a theory about Somalis. No, it's not about Somalis. That's a potential recruit pool. So is Antifa. So is BLM. So are homeless people, by the way. You offer a homeless man $20, he'll drive you around. He will do it. So is the prison system. So are a lot of other places. But no, this is all about Somalia. So thanks, Alk. I really appreciate you making everybody think I'm nothing more than a stupid, brain dead racist. That helped things so much. Um, and I think you mean you love hate email. I'm just saying. So, Black Magic, go back and watch the morning show. Please watch the morning show. You just okay. Black says he just read 9017. In this little bit of time, you must be a speed reader. Go back and reread it. Don't do illegal eyes on me. All right? You need to read it carefully, word for word. Here's a general rule of thumb, by the way, people. I know we're all in a hurry. We all would love to be able to skim a document, right? Don't do that. You will lose 90% of what you read. Here's another pro tip. Read it out loud, right? Even if it's to yourself, even if you know there's nobody around listening in, read it out loud. Read it as if you were a grade school English instructor looking for spelling errors. I got to give League credit. He did catch one mistake. Well, it wasn't really a mistake. It was there to see if he was paying, if readers paying attention. It's a point where certain sets of numbers can't possibly add up. Love you, Susan. Moving on. Okay. Apparently, in the last hour or two, I've picked up 2 subscribers. Yeah. Last hour and a half, I picked up 2 subscribers. Names I've never seen before. I hope they come into these live streams, especially the afternoon, which is for the questions. The hard ones especially. God, I love those hard questions. All right. Where was I? Sorry, guys. I did get a little distracted. Squirrel! Okay. Moving right along. I don't want to speak it into being necessarily any more than saying that there will be another terror attack. It will be mass shootings. It will be at least generally coordinated. And you're going to see, like, Vault City, which is a fake city. It's from Fallout 2, so relax. Vault City, the mass shooting, is supposed to start right at 1400, right? And it's, for them, it's supposed to start at 1400. But they're working off the time in Washington, D.C. by mistake. So they light off 3 hours early, right? At 1100. Whoops. That's a bad mistake. Or it's supposed to light off at 1400 DC time. They fail to adjust to the fact that they're on the West Coast, and they light off at 1400 local. I would like to believe they train a little bit better, but that could happen. So there might be some degree of warning. It gets worse. Even if they do train perfectly, there's things that are going to happen. Let's say that they all know exactly the time to start. They know exactly the place they're going to start. They know the route down to which left-hand turn, which right-hand turn, what vehicles do they usually see coming down that road, coming from the left at that time of day, even though they're turning right. I always see this one particular car when I'm coming home from work. Even if I'm running 15 minutes late or 5 minutes early, there's this one car I just constantly see, right? I don't know what it is. They will know it that well. And there's going to be something that happens that puts them off their time schedule, even if it's 10 minutes difference. Even if it's a 5-minute difference, it's going to put them off their schedule. 5 minutes compounds because your plan was based on that 5-minute accuracy. It's going to happen. Okay, Black Magic. If you come in here, no doxing, no doxing, no doxing. It's in the description. It is in the description, right? Let me double check, guys. It would have been faster to just copy and paste it on. Yeah, it's right there. I can only entertain you for about 10 minutes because I have a much more important duty to attend to at 1600 my time sharp. I would sell every last one of you for 5 cents for my kids. And that is what I have in about 15 minutes. So hurry up and get in here. Where was I? It's in the channel description. There. Can you see it now? All right. So guys, you might get somebody. Wow. Okay. You might get some questions for once. I might get some questions for once. Tell you who I'd really like to get some questions from. I would really love to get some questions from one particular Brit. He's Alex, a guy named Alex. Yep. And Ghost Tactical. I would love to get my ass kicked by him. Okay, are you sure you want to leave your camera on? 3, 2, 1. You're on. You want to leave your camera on?
Yeah, I'm getting a lot of echo.
2, yeah. 1. You're on.
Okay. I don't mind having your camera on. I'm just fine with that.
Yeah.
Is there anything I can do to mitigate the echo?
Yeah, go into the stream and either close that tab entirely or at least mute it. Yeah, go into the stream and either close that tab entirely or at least mute it. Yeah, go into the stream. No, not you yourself. Go to the tab with the YouTube. No, not your.
Mm-hmm.
Not you yourself. Go to the tab with the YouTube.
Oh, it didn't.
Not you yourself. Go to the tab. Or put yourself on headphones. YouTube. Do you have headphones?
No.
Oh, it didn't. Okay, folks, we're going to deal with the echo. Do you have headphones?
Okay. I don't want to make this ear rape for everybody else forever.
Yeah, well, that's this whole channel, so don't worry about that. Okay? This is an ongoing shit show. Hi, DJ. Year-long shit
this
show.
Is why I love this guy. I love it. He gets it.
Oh, you should go check out the BitChute channel.
Cheers, bro. To you. To Mandatory Carry and all of his previous incarnations.
Oh, you should go check out the previous incarnations? What are you, a Buddhist?
Oh, I remember you being just Mandatory Carry and then evolving the screen names. I guess it's an internet way of incarnations in Buddhism, but, fuck that shit.
Okay. All right. You must have been following me for a little bit longer than I realized.
I think it's also the Matt and Blonde chat.
All right. You must have been following me for a little bit longer than Don't ever say those two names.
No, I followed you on other chats. That was the key.
Don't ever say those two names. Okay. God, let's not talk about that. Let's just not talk about that. Okay, so you're in here now. You better have a question for me. Let's just not talk about that. Okay.
So you served overseas, right?
No, I never deployed.
Never deployed.
I've never made that claim. No, I never deployed.
Yeah.
Never deployed.
Jesus, it's just an echo loop. I wish I could do this better.
No, I never deployed.
Jesus, it's
just close the YouTube window and just leave this one open.
Better.
Or not. Device not connected. I don't know what happened there. So let me get the question he did ask. Did you deploy? No. I'm fucking butthurt as shit because my unit was due to deploy about 2 months. In about 2 months. This is back in 2009, I think. And they had to bounce me out of the unit because they found out about the PTSD and the circumstances surrounding it. And so they had to send me back into the same sort of environment that caused the problem to begin with. So, yeah, I will forever be mad about that. Here we go. I think he might have fixed it. Yeah.
I don't know. Can you hear me? Test.
I can hear you. Might have fixed it. I can hear you. Yeah. Still got the echo.
I don't know. Can you hear me? Test.
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Yeah.
Still got the echo. So, ask a question. For God's sakes, ask a question. I can hear you. Yeah. So, ask a question. For God's sakes, ask a question.
What is your favorite gun? The one gun you would have to carry into the wilderness with
Okay, this is
nothing.
the one gun challenge. I finally, yes! I got my one gun challenge! I've answered it. But it's all in unlisted mode. I got my one gun challenge! Okay. If it all came down to this one and no other. Glock 2. Okay. If it all came down to this one and no other. Glock 2. Okay. If it all came down to this one. You can put a stock on it. You can put a suppressor on it. You can put a kit that converts it to automatic. Actually, full selective, proper selective. You can put a suppressor on it. And you can put a 9mm drop-in barrel. Automatic. Actually, full selective, proper selective. And you can put a 9mm drop-in barrel. Automatic. Actually, full selective, proper selective. And you can put a 9mm drop-in barrel. Hey, DJ, you were in the service. What would you call a firearm like that? It has a stock and a full length, short barrel with a suppressor and automatic capability. I know what the word is. The DJ does too. And automatic capability. I know what the word is. DJ does too. Automatic capability. I know what the word is. DJ does too. Automatic capability.
Jesus, I am so sorry for this horrible audio feedback. I cannot. I can tolerate it because I can tolerate anything, but fuck's sake. I need to figure out how to fix this shit real bad.
I concur. If it was just me, it wouldn't be a problem.
I need to ask Jay Fry how he does it when we do these YouTube meetups.
He uses Hangout, and I cannot figure out how Hangout works, how it transfers to YouTube, which is very, very strange. Hangout. You think it would just go straight through, but it doesn't. Hangout works, how it transfers to YouTube, which is very, very strange. Hangout. You think it would just go straight through, but it doesn't. Hangout works, how it transfers to YouTube, which is very, very strange. I didn't realize you'd been on Jay's channel. Because Jay is one of those people, I would love him to come try and kick my ass. Jay is one of those people, I would love him to come try and kick my ass. Okay, I'm not getting an answer out of DJ. Maybe he dropped off. Hey, Black Magic. You know Guns kind of ish, right? I'm not getting an answer out of DJ. Maybe he dropped off. Hey, Black Magic. You know Guns kind of ish, right? I'm not getting an answer out of DJ. Maybe he dropped off.
I don't know guns at all. I know they protect my freedom. I want to learn more. I don't know guns
all right.
at all. I know
what would you call a pistol caliber? Well, firearm that's automatic and has a stock on it. Firearm that's automatic and has a stock on it.
That's just a gun.
Submachine gun.
That's just a gun. It's just a gun. It has physical limitations.
Well, every gun does. So does every coffee cup and beer bottle.
Physical limitations. Right. It's like being shown a coffee cup that's this size. It's just a coffee cup. Only it's a whiskey cup. Oh my God. We should outlaw fully automatic whiskey cups.
Oh, I hate that.
We should outlaw fully automatic.
I hate it when people say fully automatic. It's a redundant statement that repeats itself.
No. The worst, the absolute worst is when they say fully semi-automatic.
And was an army general at one time.
It's fully semi-automatic, boys. You gotta be careful.
Oh. Okay.
Oh.
Your question. My one gun challenge winner top winner was Glock 22. Your question. My one gun challenge winner top winner was Glock 22. Your question. Happy?
I'm very happy, actually. I'm not very
tell.
happy with the audio quality, and I'm sorry for disgracing your stream with that. Is there any way we can do that better? I don't know how J Fry and them do it.
Okay. Are you going to be available in about an hour?
Maybe.
Okay.
I give it 60% yes.
Okay.
Maybe.
If you can be available in about an hour, I will send you a link and we can talk about it offline. Unfortunately, I'm coming up on time to wrap it, guys, because I got to call my kids.
You should definitely do that. You have infinite numbers of black magics out there. You only have one set of kids. You have infinite numbers of black magic.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Fucking
so, Black,
audio.
I'm going to have to boot you and then myself in that order. Do you have a channel? Quick.
Not really.
I'm going to have to boot you and then myself. All right, well, Black Magic is around from time to time. And as you can see, guys, I don't bite my guests.
Peace, air, grace.
All right, well,
Black man.
And I'll see you in about an hour, hopefully.
Yeah, as you can see, guys, I don't bite my
Love
guests.
these hair grays.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. With that, I am going to have to wrap it up. Like I said, my kids will always have to come first. Black, we're going to try an experiment. You stay in the stream. You can walk away and go get a cigarette or something. Let's see if we can still open the channel in private mode afterwards. Remember, 9017 is coming. So get that get home bag ready. Keep calm and mandatory carry on. Okay. Oh, shit. End broadcast first.